Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your true Prince of Freaks, here today with the Fallout 4 tutorial. This is my first video on this channel. This channel is going to comprise of myself, as I said, the true Prince of Freaks, my buddy Lucius, and of course Danny Dorito, the big dumb-witted person of the group. We're going to be doing an assortment of videos together, but this is my first attempt at editing and recording my own videos. Pardon me if I sound a little lost at times. During the recording I had my own commentary and speech, but since I forgot what I said and the recording didn't go through very well, so I am forced to improvise. We're going to be using the warehouse pieces to start off with. These pieces give off a more militaristic look, and depending on how you decorate these pieces, definitely gives off that military look. We're going to be using two different, we're going to be using the bar houses and the warehouse pieces. Both have their own look and feel, and warehouse pieces, like I said, are more militaristic, but the barn pieces kind of give off a more homey feel. It's like a more civilian-like feel. But either way, it can really go either way, depending on how you decorate it. I'm going to be starting off here in a little bit, and then just to show you what they come to look like. But then after that, I'll jump to the beginning portion, where this is going to be an assortment of jump cuts. We're going to start off with a 3x4, 4 pieces for the base apartments and 2 for the balcony. As you can see, I'm demonstrating here because for some reason I think I'm funny. So I'm really looking forward to this channel, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me and my friends in a little bit. So we're going to cut to the build. Here we are. I've put together the beginning portion. The windows in the back and front are both on the right hand side towards you're facing. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, what the fuck, man? You have this operating part and it's not very immersive. What the hell? But don't worry about that. You see, because the barn pieces and the warehouse pieces both give us these structures. Now, I believe it doesn't really matter what you choose, either the wood or the steel pieces, but I'm going to go with the wood here, simply just because that's what I'm feeling right now. I only put down 3, and looking back on this footage, I probably could have gone with a little bit more. I don't put it in bathrooms in these, but that's what porta potties are for, right? Or whatever. So this is a 2-story building. I demonstrated the first warehouse pieces, as you can see, but I'm going to be showing off the barn pieces on the 2nd floor. Now, obviously, no, maybe not obviously, but you wouldn't really want to do that normally. It's really up to your personal preference. You would either make both stories warehouse or both stories barn, depending on your preference. The scaffolding stairs I'm putting up here is very simple. I'm having a bit trouble just simply because I didn't line it up properly and it's clipping with the wall. But I since fixed that between edits. I probably shouldn't have built this in the water because I'm struggling to get in and out. There you go, Zayas. Now, you can see my troubles here because it does not let me build that in, but I will jump and show you the finished product in just a second. Alrighty, scaffolding all done. Now it really is pretty simple. I struggled for a little bit simply because I landed up goofy, and it's pretty easy. It's pretty forgiving. I just had bad luck at the time. You can either use the wooden stairs, like the slanted stairs, or the actual steel stairs, is what you have at the time. I had this piece in the water, and the fog kind of hid the fact it wasn't completely sunk into the ground, but my morals would not allow it. My immersion must be satisfied. So that's an easy way of getting stairs up there and looking nice. Here's the warehouse portion. This is what the inside looks like. It's pretty dull so far, but later on I spruce it up and I show an example. Again, the warehouse pieces are more militaristic, so I put in more military style decorations. But on top, we're going to be showing off the barn pieces. The barn pieces kind of give a more homey look, as I expressed before, and the reason I prefer the barn pieces is because I don't really build military bases, especially not here in Sanctuary. Resources are a bitch, as we all know, when for us settlement builders. So I kind of just poured all my resources into Sanctuary instead of building a bunch of little ones all over the place. I like these smaller windows simply for the fact that I don't really picture apartments or houses with giant windows at every corner. I think a balance of big and small and just little touches kind of give a more personal look to it. And so there's the basic walls down. It looks very similar to the warehouse pieces. Forgive the red in the middle of it. That's something I couldn't really get around. Unless mods. Mods are always great. Mods are always great. Listen to me to my great commentary. So here we're going to be putting in the roof. The roof can be it's very customizable. You can either make it flat roof or you can put the corner pieces here, which kind of round it off better. I'm using the warehouse pieces for the roof here simply because I had these already made and I didn't want to waste any more resources. So here, usually, sometimes these corner pieces don't go in very well when you already have the roof up. If you have that problem, don't worry about it. Just put the roof parts back into your inventory, put in those filler parts, and put the roofs back on. It's less of a hassle that way. So for the shading of this balcony, I ran out of wood, but I did have some presets of the shack floor foundations. It's just to show off what the finished product would look like. If you really do prefer something else for the roof shading of this portion, then just go ahead with that. It really looks good with just about anything you use here if you want to use roofs. Personally, I just use the floor, the barn pieces floor. It's my personal preference. Whoopsies. There we go. So just going to finish off by putting the rest of the supports here, and in a little bit I'll be cutting to the decorations, giving off two very similar but very different vibes. There you go. There's the structure of it, the bare minimum, and we'll be cutting to the decorations in just a portion, in just a bit. And here we are, the finished structure. I'll be showing you the decorations and what I meant about the two different vibes. Here I have the more militaristic vibe, like I said, with the warehouse pieces. More metal, kind of quickly put together and welded, kind of gives me a more Minutemen or Brotherhood feel, like I've said countless times. Starting to feel like broken record, my bad. But the beds with the foot lockers and the kind of Spartan bare bones like side table with the the small little cooking area. I repeat the cooking area in the other build, in the other warehouse barn pieces build, my bad. It gives off, but it's done differently. The desk in the middle box kind of give off this is where we develop reports and gear up type deal. The lighting here kind of gives a quickly put together type vibe, which in the military kind of makes sense to me. But here, in the barn tab, it gives off a more homey, subtler, like more civilian type build. Here I preferred to put a rug down, but I ran out of cloth, so I just went with the mat. There's not as much lighting in here simply because I ran out of oil, but I like to go with candles on the desk area and things like that. There's the table. Again, I would usually put more containers here, like the what do they call it? The dressers and the big tall china cabinet. My bad. Here is the small little cooking area. It's very bare bones. You got the place for cutting things and putting away silverware and spoons, and you had the place for putting pots and pans. This isn't as lavish as I'd like it to be, but it's what I got. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and thank you again.